Rumour has it the EF to RF adapter is difficult to get a hold of. Let's look into that. Hi, I'm Tom and you're watching Rumourhasit. Please subscribe for camera news, rumour and informed opinion. It's free to subscribe and it helps the channel grow. So looking at adapters, I believe it's still difficult to get a hold of the original Canon adapter. I'm fortunate to already have one. I got it when I bought my EOS R camera and I kept it. I've decided to have a look at Viltrox adapters and to see what's involved in there and if there's any issue with them. So we'll just do a quick unboxing. It's a tight fit. Oh, there you go. And here we go. Looking at it, it certainly looks well made. It's metal, plastic caps, front and back. Plastic feels a bit, I don't know, certainly a different feel to the Canon plastic. Maybe not as good quality, but not bad. Also, I noticed that the markings for putting it on are different. They don't have the usual marking in the edge. It looks like it's something just imprinted on the front of the cap. So that could prove tricky. As you know, I've got trouble lining these up and getting them. And the provided one for the back side. So take these off and take a look at it. It's got more of a silvery finish than a metallic finish than the Canon adapter. The Canon adapter has got a rubber gasket where it mounts to the EOS R, and this one doesn't. So that's a big difference actually. So if we take a look at that, we'll stick it on the EOS R. That feels a little different. But there seems more of a metal to metal contact there. And that probably is the lack of the gasket that I'm noticing there. So it fits reasonably well with the camera. It's got that stand that doesn't come with the Canon camera, so the little stand attached to it. If I take one of my EF lenses, which is the 100 2.8L lens, and we'll stick that on. Again, that feels more like a metal to metal contact than with the Canon adapter. It's possibly due to a different finish on the front. It's like, difficult to say, it's slightly rougher to the touch, the finish there. It's not the machined finish that you get on the Canon adapter. It's possibly plated or a different feeling to it. The biggest omission, I would say, is the lack of a rubber gasket. And that's not something that I'd be too happy about. So I've decided what I'm going to do here is a test using the Reikan Focal software. And what that does is it allows you a number of tests on a lens that you've got associated with the body. Not quite as relevant on a mirrorless camera, because on the DSLRs it allows you to do micro adjustments to the focus if your lens is back focusing or front focusing, and you can adjust for that. It doesn't have that facility on a mirrorless body, but it does have other facilities for testing the lens and also testing dust spots. So you can test the AF accuracy, stability, and you can actually just test the quality of the lens in terms of how it focuses through the focal range. So you can go through from f2.8 up to f11, and it'll take a series of shots and then it plots it out in a graph and it gives you an indication how well the lens is doing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use that software on the Canon adapter with this 100L 2.8. I'll also use the Viltrox adapter, exact same setup, just changing the adapter. And I'm going to run through the three tests and we'll show you that next. This is not supposed to be a tutorial on how to use the Focal software. I'm simply using Focal to compare the results between the two adapters. So I've already run the test using the Canon adapter, currently mounted with the Viltrox adapter. You can see on the far wall there we've got the Focal target that we're lined up on. I've already been through the focus setup routine with it, so we've got that part of it all sorted. Unfortunately, the treadmill's in the way, so you just have to put up with what's in the sunroom here. But this is the brightest area in the house, and it's also the area where I can get the distance that I need. I need a minimum of 4 meters distance with a 100mm lens, and that's what we've got here. We're just about to run the multi-test, and I'll click on that now. What you're seeing there is the results that came from the Canon. I'm just going to run the result again using the Viltrox adapter, so I'll click the start button. Just asking me if I've been through various checks and lining up, and I have, so it's okay on that. And I'll go off now and take a series of shots, and the results don't start showing in the grid here until it's almost complete, because it takes time to process them. I'll run through this, I'll let you see how it operates and the images it's taking, but I'll skip through the bulk of this so that you just see the data towards the end. And you can see the data is starting to appear on the graph now. Yeah, it's just closing down now, so once it's completed the process, I'll save that file. And I'll just add Viltrox to the end of that. Okay, we'll compare these reports later. And I'll complete an AF consistency report. And that's it, completed the AF consistency test, and I'll just save that one as well. I'll just go back to the again, and I'll click on the aperture sharpness. And that's it, completed the aperture sharpness profile. I'll just save that again. Okay, so that's completed the 3 tests on both adapters. We'll go back to the other computer now and compare those. So here we are back in the studio, and I have the PDF files from the Reikan Focal. Actually, there's so much data to go through, I've selected only 3 graphs which I think summarise the results. The first graph from the multi-test is the quality grid. The left side of this grid is the widest aperture, and red to green is to be expected here on a typical lens. The purple diamonds track the path of the best quality. As you can see, as the aperture narrows, focus quality is obtained in a larger area, shown in green. There is no noticeable difference between both adapters here. The second graph is from the focus consistency test. Again, no noticeable difference other than the tolerance between tests. The third graph is the aperture sharpness graph. This shows a slight edge for the Canon, but once again it could be well within the tolerance of the test. These tests are very affected by light levels, and it could be variation between tests. I was relying on daylight, and that does vary, as does the weather here. We can get 4 seasons in the same day. But all in all, there's little quality difference between the adapters in these tests, and that gives us some hope that there will be little practical difference in use. So to summarise, when comparing Canon to Viltrox, the Viltrox lacks weather sealing, and that could be the deciding factor for some. The Viltrox is also less than half the price of Canon, and that could be a deciding factor. Also, the Viltrox is more readily available than the Canon adapter, as we all know. As I pointed out though, the finish on the Viltrox is a little suspect, and I can still feel grating while mounting the lens. This can't be explained only by the lack of rubber gasket. I'll let you hear that again. So we'll fit the Canon adapter, and we'll fit the lens. So I'll do it close to the lav mic here and you'll hear the difference. So I'm just about to lock the Canon lens in position and you should hear it on the lav mic. Okay. So we'll take off the Canon and we'll put in the Viltrox adapter. And once again, I'll just lock that in position. So I don't know if, like me, you heard the difference there, but certainly I can feel it as I turn the lens. It's certainly more of a gritty feeling there. And finally, there's no discernible difference between the adapters in the test reports. Here are two photographs I took of the target with each adapter, and you can judge for yourself. Let me know in the comments below if you do see any difference, and which one do you think is Canon and which one is the Viltrox, and I'll reveal the answer later on in the comments. Now I'd just like to say thanks to all my new subscribers. There are 249 of you at the making of this video, so why not join us and be the 250th? I'm heartened that you enjoy the content and have to hit that subscribe button, even though I'm well aware improvements are still needed, especially to my audio and editing. As a one-man band writing scripts, filming and editing my own content, it has been a learning experience from scratch, which I've enjoyed. I do have some upgrades planned, and soon I'll be investing in a voice recorder like the Zoom F2 BT when it's back in stock. I've also changed to a Rode lav mic, which I'm using for the first time today. I decided the lav mic was better given the room I use has no sound treatment, and it seems to amplify all that's bad in my audio. Let me know in the comments if you think the Rode lav mic is helping. Currently I'm recording to my iPhone using a voice recorder app, but it's not convenient and it has ruined some audio, resulting in retakes. This is where the Zoom F2 should help. Being a dedicated sound recorder, I shouldn't have the same problems I do in trying to use a mobile device. Hopefully, as audio and production values improve, the channel will continue to grow and become self-funding. Although I'd prefer not to run ads on my channel if I can find another way to fund it. But it's early days and it's a small channel, so let's see how things progress. Thanks for watching Rumourhasit. I hope you found this useful. Please like and click the subscribe button below. It really helps the channel grow, and for my part, I'll continue to bring you camera news, rumour and informed opinion.